So one of my favorite writers, Haruki Murakami, has a quote where he says, "I can't grasp much of anything without putting down my thoughts in writing." Writing is the most powerful way to find out what you truly believe, explore why you believe those beliefs, and to build bigger frameworks with which you can see the world through. How can we begin understanding what we believe, who we are, and how to develop ideas through the act of placing ink to paper? In this video, we're going to discuss 5 different ways. First thing I like to do is I like to keep a list, an ongoing open loop of ideas that I could come back to and explore. Now, it could be just as soon as a question. Maybe it's a philosophical question. Maybe it's an emotional question. How do I feel about this? Maybe it's an action question. What should I do about this? Maybe it's a future plan. What do I want to do in the future? What is my best move to get what I want from the future? You don't always need to fully answer these in the moment, but when a question that you don't have full certainty about arises, write it down on pen and paper, something you will come back to later. I am a huge advocate of carrying a journal with you wherever you go, or having some form of pen and paper. I much prefer it to digital notes because for whatever reason, I end up coming back to my journal a lot more often than notes that I've had way in the past that I'm never going to open again. So writing down questions and uncertainties and emotions as they arise with pen on paper. Walking is another massive way you can work out ideas while writing, walking and writing. Nietzsche has a quote that I'm going to paraphrase, but it's something along the lines of, "Every single good idea has come about through walking." Many of the ancient Greek philosophers would conduct their classes while walking throughout the city, and their students would follow and listen to the sermons. There's something about walking that stimulates creative thinking. I'll walk and then I'll pay attention to whatever idea is on my head that I want to work out. And then once something really big or good comes into consciousness, I'll pause, write it down, and write until I feel like the idea has been explored thoroughly, that little inkling of an idea, and continue walking. And as idea pops up again, I'll pause again, stop walking, write it down. When you write down your thoughts on a subject, every single word is a decision. You've decided, okay, how do I feel about this? And then once you write it down, you've made many decisions over and over. Okay, this is true. This isn't true. I feel this about this. The act of placing pen to paper forces you to continually make decisions about what words to use and how you actually feel about a subject as you go about your writing. You can now see what was once unconscious now becomes conscious. Another thing that I like to do is even once I answer a question, if there wasn't full certainty within the answer, and these are mainly questions that are based around how I feel about something and what my wants are, I will continue to ask myself the question, even if I've answered it, day after day after day, until I really edge away everything that's not necessary. And all that I'm left with is, okay, you know what? This keeps on popping up. This is a true belief of mine. So if you don't have full certainty, asking yourself a certain question, like, what do I want to do in the future? Do I enjoy this? Am I in the right relationship? Things along those lines of your feelings towards, should you continue with something or should you pivot to a different direction? I like ask myself the same question day after day over a period of time until I get to certainty. When you're answering these questions, it's important to pay attention to that inner voice, and your inner voice answers in a binary way, either with excitement or with repulsion, or somewhere in the middle with a flat, neutral nothingness. Listening to the dialogue of that inner voice, which responds in curiosity and excitement, is super key. You need to be able to slow down and ask yourself, does this feel truthful to me? If there's that excitement, when you can begin to raise the volume of that little voice inside of you that answers with a yes or a no, you can begin that relationship with the thing that ultimately always knows what is truthful for you. Finding the veins of emotion when an idea sparks something inside of you, follow that, stay with it, listen to it. It has the answers for you. Another thing that I like to do when exploring subjects, ideas, and personal feelings, it could be a philosophical manner. Don't pay attention to, am I the first person to come up with this? Is this actually a deep thought? Allow yourself to create your own ideas and explore your own truths and ideas about reality, and approach the page as if it's the first time the idea has ever been approached. Don't judge yourself on, oh man, I don't have the brightest ideas. I can't think like these great minds from the past. Allow yourself to find your own conclusions and continue to come back to them. One more thing that's really going to help you is reading a lot. You can adopt frameworks that you find are truthful for you. Adopt those frameworks as your own, and by taking action also, you create your own architecture of ideas and experiences, and now you have more ways that you can compare systems and fill in a new idea within an already developed framework. So reading a lot and taking massive action within your life is going to allow you to think more clearly and explore ideas in a more flexible way when you already have these frameworks built within your head. Lastly, compiling research, dedicating a page of your journal just to research that you read around, and when you feel curiosity, you continue going in a certain direction and continue writing down on that specific designated page research on this specific topic. It is another way that we can explore ideas and reflect and write on those researches. Doing this, compiling research with pen on paper, and then rereading it and reflecting on it throughout a period of time, is the last way I'm going to talk about, that we can explore how we feel about a subject, learn to think about a subject, and just practice the art of exploring your own mental frameworks, ideas, and thoughts about things.